series. So just a little background on Teams and why we decided to do this webinar series is we've all been working. Most of us have probably been working remotely, and the NetWize team definitely has been mostly remote. And we've been using Teams extensively through this period of work from home, half in the office, and it's become a very essential tool for us, more so than it was even going into this. So we've learned a lot over the last couple months using this within our company and on many calls. And so we wanted to share some of the things that we've learned over the last couple months and just help get everybody else trained and up to speed on some of the potentials that Teams has. So we're going to kick off a three-part series today. The first today is Teams and secure collaboration, and then we're going to be doing this on the last Wednesday of every month. So we'll have another one on June 24th at the same time at 11 a.m. And it's how to have an effective meeting using Teams. And then on July 29th, we'll be doing it at 11 a.m. again, and it's how to collaborate effectively in Teams and taking it to the next level. And during this series, we're gonna do a drawing at the end of each one of these, just a random drawing. We advertised it as a Visa gift card, but then we realized that we actually have to send a physical Visa card. So we're going to change it up and be sending out a $50 Amazon card, and we'll pick that winner at the end of each of these three Teams meetings, and then we'll get that out. We'll announce it at the end of the call before we get off. And then we'll get that sent out right away as soon as we gather that person's information. And then each event that you attend, you will get one entry for the very last event. We'll be giving away a Mavic Mini drone. So if you attend all three events, you'll get three entries to win that Mavic drone. And then we will be the invite for the next events aren't up yet. We will be sending those out at the end of this event, probably sometime during the next week. So with that, Abby, I'm going to turn it over to you. Abby, she's with one of our distribution partners, Ingram Micro, and has an extensive experience with Microsoft and Teams especially, and we're very excited and grateful to have her on the call with us today. So Abby, I'll let you do a bit more of an introduction and take it away. So thank you everyone for attending, and thank you Abby for presenting.
Fantastic. Thanks, Todd. Good afternoon or good morning, I think, still, if you're on the West Coast. I'm in Fargo, North Dakota, where we finally have no snow, so I'm pretty excited about that. Today, we're going to go ahead and talk about secure collaboration. I actually brought on my peer, Eddie Campbell, to talk a little bit about the security side first. It's always good to understand that Microsoft Teams is built on best-in-class security. And so he's just going to do a couple slides on that, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into a live Teams demo. Anytime you have questions, feel free to raise your hand. You can do that in the bar in the window or put information in the chat. I love to be collaborative, so feel free at any time to interrupt me and ask questions as well. That's how we learn. So Eddie, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Going to keep it high level here because, as Abby said, Teams is built on a great support or a great security structure because of everything that has happened over the last couple of months. The global effect that COVID has pushed so many people out to work from home status that the networks have grown and changed in a lot of ways that IT folks haven't necessarily been prepping for. And so The biggest thing that we wanted to make sure that some of the folks know, and this is 2018 data, so this is still pre-COVID, but most of the breaches that have happened through SMB have taken, I think it says 58% here of the breaches were to small businesses. The biggest impact everybody first thinks of is financially, right? With an average cost of $120,000 to take and pull away from that breach and to make some type of security, it wasn't for the fact that they didn't want to be secure. It's that simply about 62% of those small to medium businesses don't have a skill set in their IT staff to make sure that they are secure, or they may be perfectly skilled, they just don't have the bandwidth to do it. And so that's where Microsoft takes and steps and helps out by going through different levels of security and making sure that you guys have what you need to do the security and keep you guys safe from those pieces. Because, as Abby, you can go ahead and build out the slides. As they go through, a lot of people don't have 120K in the bank to be able to recover from something like that. And unfortunately, a lot of those businesses that happens to don't recover. And I believe the statistic is somewhere around 60% of the folks that do get breached a year or two later, those same folks come back. They continue to keep a back door open and they do it again, which usually helps, eliminate that small to medium business altogether. So the next piece of it is through the productivity, advanced security, device management that M365 can take and help with. So productivity side, you guys are getting ready to learn about one of the best productivity tools out there, Teams, from Abby. She's not smiling at the camera. I figured she'd jump for joy at that one. But the different advanced security features that are there. I'm not big from reading from a slide, but as you see up there, you see a lot of familiar names, whether it is, ATP, multi-factor authentication, BitLocker. There are some very simple steps that aren't as drastically, impactful to how normal, customers do business. Multi-factor authentication, I have it on my cell phone for when I'm accessing my Teams account, other files, things like that. Ingram keeps us wrapped up pretty tight for good reason. And they do a really good job at it. And we use Microsoft to do almost all those things. The other side of it is with device management, so many folks that are now displaced and working from home and things like that, they're not using the normal desktop that maybe they had when they were in their brick and mortar. Now they're using a laptop, a cell phone, a tablet, whatnot, and it can go across multiple, OSs, whether it's, iOS, Android, or, Microsoft. It doesn't matter as far as that goes for the security and what it can help do that Microsoft has to offer. If you were out and about and you are breached, if you lose your cell phone, if you're, traveling, which is at a minimum right now, but let's just put it out there. If that were to happen and you guys needed to take and, somebody reports up and Todd goes, hey, I just lost my laptop. I left it at a XYZ airport. He's got a lot of information out there on that laptop. This now gives you the ability to go in and wipe that data off that device. It can even go as far as to separate what is my personal data on my cell phone that's not a company provided device and wipe off just, my Ingram information would all get wiped out to protect the business as much as humanly possible. Hit the next slide for me, Abby.
And I like the part about it too that it's built on Windows 10 technology. So if your customers are on, or if you're on Windows 7 or 8, you get Windows 10 as a part of the solution. And so you're actually helping to save some money. And Eddie's going to go into that a little bit more.
Yeah, and here on this slide is a good breakdown of what is normal for people, for customers to have. They've got their third-party solutions, and you can see whether it's an email filtering, an antivirus storage, device management. There are a lot of good products out there. But over the last few years, Microsoft went from a small blip on security all in, with a total of a couple $2 billion worth of investment to be up in that top upper right quadrant. And to take and see what can be allocated by licensing in Microsoft, you could see the difference there in what you would be able to do in saving a per seat per month type scenario. But as you go through and you are able to use some Intune, some Azure P1 protection, data loss prevention, and those things, all works obviously extremely well in the Microsoft environment. And how Microsoft takes and helps that is they build off of what we call the entire stack. So as you go through, it takes and is able to back up those strengths for those types of protection. Speaking of DLP, the data loss prevention, it can take and reach all the different Microsoft devices that are on its network that you guys would be able to take and work with from there. While saving money is always a good thing, there's also the side of it in just simply the peace of mind that you guys are secure, and not only in the piece of, oh yes, I have a secure device, but knowing that you can go through certain steps and actions to react to different threats. And also the reporting that it comes through to allow and say, hey, yes, because these are all talking together very well, we know exactly who has been more of a threat and who has not been due to whatever type of action they've been, whether it's at home or in an office, or whether if they're traveling. You can make sure that you're protected in any environment.
Great. Thanks so much, Eddie. And if you want follow-up questions, we can certainly help you from a security standpoint. What's so great about Microsoft Teams is that it is built on best-in-class security. So no matter where you're at within the platform, if you work with conditional access or sensitive customer information, you can actually block that with Microsoft Security Solution from it going through, and it will tell that end user that it is been blocked because it is sensitive data. Microsoft Teams also builds it out in the fact when you can have private channels and label things confidential so that your assets, which are important to your company, are always safe and protected no matter what device you're on. So we're going to go ahead and really dive into Microsoft Teams. Right here is the hand button. And I would love to know who is not on Microsoft Teams. So raise your hand if you're not on Microsoft Teams. I'm going to be able to show this to you right away. This hand button is pretty cool. Okay. Anybody else? We have one person. Are you shy? Don't be shy. We have a gift card to give away at the end. Awesome. How many of you, now let's take away that hand. How many of you are using Teams, or you actually are like confused with Teams? How about you're confused with Teams? Put your hand up. Or scared. Don't be scared. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. We could take away the hands. Perfect. All right. So this is very, again, going to be very hands-on. Ask me questions. I'll do the best to answer them, but I'm going to show you how I use Microsoft Teams. And I think it's super important for you to see that. I am an outside sales rep, usually in the field 90% of the time when I can fly. And my background is I worked for Microsoft before I came to Ingram, where I ran the strategy for what's called the modern workplace for North and South America. And so I'm here to make it easy for you. If you feel overwhelmed, we'll have another call. So don't worry, we'll get you where you need to be in your Teams journey. Okay, so when you joined the conversation, you joined within this meeting environment. And thank you to those that have your pictures on. Can we actually get it to the 9 window? Can other people be brave and turn on your cameras and give me a little wave? This is awesome. Thanks, you guys. Perfect. So Microsoft Teams just came out with the 9 window a couple weeks ago. It was actually pretty funny. I was doing a customer demo, and at the beginning of the conversation, I only had 4 windows that were here. At the end of the conversation, totally because I drink purple Kool-Aid all day, there were 9 windows, and they got the true reaction of, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Microsoft, this is how quick we transform, right? Because they're always wanting to do their product better. Now, if you use Zoom, which I really hate to say because I'm a Teams girl, but you can see a bunch of people there. Microsoft purposely didn't go with multiple windows because it's scientifically proven in order to have an effective meeting, you can't pay attention to more than 9 things at one time. Me, I see something shiny and I'm like, oh, so it would be really hard for me to actually pay attention to. So that is why the 9-person window is the way that it is. What's really cool is you can actually pin in on the speaker. So if you didn't want to see the 9 people in the window, all you would have to do is go to the 3 dots here and actually pin that person. and they would be the only person showed up on the screen. So Catherine, you get to be the only person up on the screen. Thanks for not volunteering, but volunteering. And then you can actually unpin them as well. And then you can pin them to the frame. So if you wanted to put, let's say I can put Mike to the frame, I can fit him into the frame, and then it will actually put the whole picture in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just click that button, and you can see how I can see all of Mike in one location. So this gives us flexibility. If you're doing a huge presentation, just have people pin them so that they don't have to look at other people on the screen. And that's something new as well within the last couple of weeks. So here in the meeting, here's the recording. You're all being recorded. I didn't want to interrupt Todd in the beginning, so I need to say per Microsoft, if you wish not to be recorded, drop now. But please don't drop because you're all here to learn. This is your video where you can turn your camera on or off. And this camera can transform the way that you do business. People are always like, I didn't do my hair, I don't have makeup on. And my response is, I don't care. I want to see you. I've been with my kids in my house for 74 days, and this is the only adult interaction that I get every day. I usually have a kid on my lap. One wanted to present the other day, so I let him have his little 3-minute spiel, and it just can get so overwhelming. So it's important to be human. If you're in the business and working with customers, it can actually help you increase your revenue because you're going to close your opportunities quicker. You're going to build rapport. When I worked at Microsoft, and this is me being vulnerable, I was on the leadership team. Every Monday we would have a conversation, and I would be so uncomfortable because I sit in Fargo and the leadership team sits in Dallas, Texas, and they would always be laughing. And a lot of laughing would be happening after I had said something, but there was no camera, so I wasn't included. The minute that I was courageous enough to say, hey guys, we have Teams, can we turn on the camera? The dynamics of our meetings changed. We were able to decrease our meetings by 15 minutes, which time is really valuable. We were able to become more creative together and trust each other. And I think trust is a big thing, especially internally when you're trying to build something together. So the camera is much more than the bad hair, no makeup. You know, throw it in a messy bun, put on a hat, it doesn't matter. Let's just get real with it. Okay, sorry, off my soapbox, but that camera can change your world. This is where you can mute and unmute yourself. You can also share your screen like I'm doing now. So you can share a platform as well. It's just PowerPoint, Excel, instead of just Teams. You can also request access to and give control to somebody's computer. So if somebody is struggling, you can go in and you're able to drive and get to resolution quicker. Okay. These 3 buttons here are where we can see our device details. And I know there's something in the chat, so I'll be over there in just 1 second. So these device settings, we can actually change them here versus going to settings on our computer. So if you're having technical issues, check this area first from that perspective so that you can test things out. The camera, this is where you would change your camera. When I'm on the road, I travel with 3 cameras, my Pancast Jabra camera, a Poly camera, and then my laptop camera. And so I can flip between those based upon the experience that I'm trying to deliver. Here's the meeting details. So if you get dropped off the call or need to come back, you can actually click these 3 dots. And hopefully they come back up. I find when I give a demo, I'm actually faster than Teams, so I need to slow down a little bit. But over here, you can see the meeting details. You can enter in a phone number to call you, even copy the join information. This is great if you need somebody additional to be able to add it to it. You can send them to that call as well. Next is you can enter full screen, and that's where those applications at the bottom of my screen will go away. You can also change your background, and this is really fun. This also happened on another call. So before you could previously just do background blur up here in the corner, but now Microsoft has put in a ton of different photos that you can actually change your background. I see Xander's looking at it. Oh, I'm gonna go try it. I could see it in your face. And this is how we invoke creativity, right? You could do like the Brady Bunch theme and have people, you know, do a background contest within your company. It's kind of fun. And then part of it as well is you can upload your own backgrounds. So you can see I have the Microsoft sign from Microsoft Inspire Bruno Mars concert 3 years ago as part of my picture. So you're able to scroll through and actually add those as well. I don't know why I am freezing today. Give me 1 second. This is on my end on my network, so I apologize. I think I'm going to have to log off and come back in. I'll be right back.
While we're
There we
waiting for Abby to
go.
jump
Hi.
back in. Oops, sorry.
Okay,
Go
I'm
ahead,
back.
Todd.
Ah, there
that
we
was
go.
quick.
Are we back there now? I don't know what's going on. I'm going to restart real quick. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know what's up. And I can see it on there too. So now I'm on my phone. See how quickly I could actually switch to my phone and actually be part of the meeting. But unfortunately, I'm able to do the call from here to do a demo. So I'm just going to restart my computer real quick. And I completely apologize for this. And trust me, it's not Microsoft Teams. I apologize. Todd, I'm going to let you go ahead and take over and just talk about NetWize just a little bit. I should be on in like 1 minute, okay?
Okay. Yeah, so our team's experience has been, you know, pretty significant over the last couple months, like I was saying earlier, and it's really revolutionized.
Like I was saying earlier, and it's really revolutionized
the way we work. Sorry, I was getting some echoing there.
the way we work. Sorry, I was getting
And we've been using it like multiple times a day to collaborate with the team, and it's been very interesting that even though we've been out of the office, we've almost been in touch. Well, not almost. We've been in touch more using Microsoft Teams than we were even in the office. And then what I've found is even going back into the office, I sit downstairs, Mike sits upstairs. Instead of me walking upstairs now, I'll have a Teams conversation with Mike in the office because we're able to collaborate on documents as well. So we'll pull up like a quote that we're working on. We'll go through it together. We'll make modifications. You know, one person will be driving, the other person will be giving input. So it's really changed the way we work, even in the office, because it's such an effective tool. And then we're constantly on the chat feature all day long, chatting, and we'll get into some more of those features throughout the series. But the other thing that we're really starting to use is the document storage portion of it as well to share documents. So it's starting to change the way we work in that we're not using email as much as we even used to where we're messaging people, we're sharing documents within Teams instead of adding them as attachments to emails and then sending them out, which, you know, takes a lot of space. I sometimes look back through my emails and I'll have the same document attached multiple times to different email threads and different versions. And you can eliminate all that with Teams and have everything in organized areas that you're easily able to access. And it's the nice thing about it is once you put documents into the Teams area, then they're accessible from anywhere you are. So there's a little bit of commentary from me while we get Abby back on, but yeah, welcome back, Abby.
Yeah, so sorry about that, you guys. I don't know. My computer just said, hey, I've had enough. You've been talking on it for 12 hours a day. So, you know, you just got to go with the punches, right? And so I'm going to just go ahead and reshare my screen and hopefully this works. So just give me a minute. But yeah, so we can go ahead and answer some of those questions in the chat window, Todd, while I'm getting set up, if you want to go ahead and just read those out to me.
Yeah. Let's see what they are here. Let's see, don't have a camera. Is there a setting to get the 9, or does it set up automatically based upon the number of users?
Yeah, it's a great question. So those users will just pop in. So when you have 9 people on camera, it will fluctuate and they will pop in. If your company hasn't rolled out on it yet, you're in the path to have it done. So it's an automatic update. Can you shut off capabilities to be able to share? Yes, you can actually change your meetings as well through your meeting settings. And when you do that, you're going to do it right through here where your people are joining. And actually can do it through the meeting invite as well, where it says presentation. And I don't know what is up with my computer, you guys. I'm so sorry. But you can do it. You can change your meeting through the meeting functionality in the Teams. Okay. And we'll come back to some more of those questions in a moment.
The other thing you'll notice on the people that show up on the screen in the 9 windows are the active people talking. So if somebody were to start talking that's not there right now, they would probably pop up on the screen. So sometimes just a little bit of noise in the background will pop you up into one of those windows.
That's right. That's right. All right, we'll get to some more of those questions in a minute. So we have the turn on live caption. So we showed you the background effects. I'm in my office now, so you can actually see where I'm sitting. I'm not sitting on a bed that's not made. And then you can also turn on the live captions below. So when you turn on the live captions, everything that you say will actually populate down below. It's taking a minute to do it because my system is coming back up. But this is really nice because it allows us to have a conversation. We don't know whom we're speaking to, if they're hard of hearing, but it allows us to see it, read it, and hear it at the same time. What's really great about this as well is that if you are working with multinational customers that don't speak great English, it will actually help translate it as well. So this is a great functionality from that standpoint. Okay. The next button that's in there, I promise you guys it does work. Can't get back there. Oh my goodness. Well, this is the chat window. So we'll go here and we'll actually show you how chat works once my computer catches up to how fast I am. But under this chat functionality, you are able to send a chat, gifts, etc., even include different applications. And this is for internal, so you'll be able to see all of that functionality. Because you were invited into the meeting environment, you probably only see the A that is there right now, just because of the way that the meeting has been set up. Okay. Up here is where you're able to change your settings and your presence awareness. So this would be able to do a drop down from this perspective, and you will be able to change your presence. Presence is super key when you're working remote. So here you can see that I have the little red dot. It shows that I'm presenting here, and you're able to be on do not disturb. So nobody can actually contact me while I'm presenting. It'll just push through to the appropriate area within the Microsoft Teams. Busy, available, free, etc. If you have set up focus time as well, it will actually say focus time up there from that perspective. You can also change your setting or what you would like to say, or if you are out of office, your out of office will actually transpose directly into Teams as well. I work 95% of my day in Microsoft Teams. Very rarely am I in email. And so, you know, it does work because I'm a Zoomer in it and I go super fast from that perspective. Here's the settings section. In the settings, this is where you're able to control your environment. There are some admin things that you can lock down on the back end if you don't want your company to be able to have access to everything. But here you can see you can set your theme. I like to keep mine at dark because it's better on my eyes, nicer on my computer. You can set your application settings, even your language. The delegates here are on, you can set who can receive calls on your behalf. Here as well, you have privacy. On the privacy part, I always turn on the read receipt. It's nice to know when somebody's read your message. If you turn this off, you will not know when somebody has read your message on either end. And then I leave the survey section on. This is how Microsoft gets better from this perspective. And all it's going to say is, how was your call quality? And then you just push the star. So it's pretty easy. In the notification standpoint, this is where you can set your notifications. Where do you want things to come in when you're in a meeting? Couple tips and tricks that I do is I turn off my notification sounds because I'm the Teams and collaboration expert here at Ingram. I get beeped probably every 10 minutes, and so I turn that off. I also do a missed activity email where it'll send an email when I've missed something in Teams so that I can see it in 2 locations. And then I mute chat notifications because that's going to beep at me as well. Again, you have the area to test your devices. You have your permissions. I leave this on.
Hey, Abby.
Yep.
Quick question. There was a question in the feed, and I think it had to do with the notifications. Can you turn off the notifications on your phone? And I think you would be able to control them independently on your laptop and your phone device. Is that correct?
Yep, it is correct. So you can turn off when notifications come on your phone, or I was gone for a long weekend. Partners were calling me and I just turned it off because I'm like, I'm on vacation. I don't want anything happening there, but you can set them to your personal preference. Yep, great question. And then you have the call part here. So when you're on Teams, if you don't have telephony, you still have the ability to call internally on your network. So you're still going to want to set up this and also configure your voicemail for people internal to your organization. Okay, and it looks like there were a couple more questions. You can right click on the person's picture. Okay, great. So you answered the question about pinning. So here's the 3, and then you just click pin, and then they will fit there. Teams will automatically add the video feed of participants sharing video until it's 9 users. Great, thanks, Xander. I don't want these chats coming to my phone. Okay, yep, we answered that. Is there a log of the live caption? So when you can actually get that through your admin portal, so you're going to want to make sure you set that up. Also, when this video is recording, it's recording via Microsoft Stream. So when this recording is done, it will actually go up to my Stream site, and in there, translation for the whole meeting will occur. So if you knew in the middle of the meeting we were talking about something specific, you could actually go to the transcript as part of that meeting as well. How do you chat, have meetings across 365 organizations, internal only versus external? So internally, we can chat back and forth. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the chat. There, you can also set up guest access. I federate or white label all of the partners that I work with, so we're able to chat back and forth. Government licensing, they're usually about 6 to 9 months behind from that perspective, especially if you're GCC. We just have to wait for that roadmap to happen. Okay, great questions across the board. So we went through the settings part. Now back up by my picture, if you're going to work with different organizations, this drop-down menu will actually bring you there. And so if I were to drop down and leave, this call would disconnect, but I'm connected to, let's say, Microsoft. I'm part of Teams within their network. I'm able to actually move over into their team site so that we're able to collaborate together. It's also a great way if you work with multiple vendors to start a team inside your environment, and you can work with them as well. And that's where that guest access comes into play. NetWize is great at setting that up for you as well. The middle part is your command button. This command button is kind of fun. You can do a hashtag and actually see, or a slash, I guess it's not a hashtag, of all of the different things that are available through command. So there's some quick things like change my presence, or you can do /call, and then you can put in a person's name and it will call that person directly. So you're able to see all the different functionality that is there. Feel free to play with it. Okay. Now, over on this left-hand side is the activity. And if you're like me, when I'm laying in bed trying to wake my head up in the morning, I always go look at Facebook. And this is kind of like the Facebook for Teams. So the activity section, and I am moving too fast again, I think. There we go. The activity feed is going to show me when I was mentioned in something or activity happened in a team that I was a part of. And so you can see here in my team site for my partners, I had made some announcements. One of my partners liked that feed. so I can know when there's additional questions. And so we can go back and forth. And this is all with my external people that I work with back and forth. Okay. The other part of it is my activity. So from the my activity section, if I knew yesterday that I had worked on something, but I forgot what team or channel I had put it in, I could actually go look through my activity feed to find that information. So it's a great way to go back and forth versus searching. Okay, I'm going to come into chat now. And you can see that this meeting that we're in is actually a part of our chat. And so I'm going to actually go ahead and pin this to the top. And when I pin it to the top, I like to do this because it might be something I'm going to go back and forth on and I don't want to search for it. So I can see that our chat is actually happening here. Okay. Now, down below, we have all of the chat functionality, and I wanted to blow it out for you so you could see it all about. So here we can format our text. So we're just going to use it here and just type hello. I can bold it, italicize it, underline it. I can even put it in a paragraph, which is nice. If I needed to insert a link, I could do that as well. So put a link here and title it. So it makes it look super professional. There's other capabilities such as code, you can insert in tables, and then mark it as important too. So if I were to put important, it would show people in the activity feed or the chat that that was an important thing that needed to happen. I'm going to go ahead and remove important. Down below, I can attach documents. Eddie, are you still here? I don't know if Eddie's still on the call, but I can upload a document for document collaboration, and I'm going to show you how to do that via normal chat. I'm able to put in emojis.
I am here. Sorry, you caught me sneaking away from the desk for 2 seconds, and of course you called me.
Can we show them how to do some document collaboration real quick? Is that okay?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Some document collaboration?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll just go ahead and do this. And this is really nice because if we were in a meeting together, let's say a company meeting, and we wanted to work on a document that needed to be published, we could do that right in this meeting. And so Eddie's going to go ahead and log into this PowerPoint with me. And even if we were to do this in a normal chat, we would be able to still have a conversation on the document on the side. Now, this collaboration part is nice because I remember the days when you had to email a document back and forth, there were changes that needed to be made, or you would miss people that had to be a part of it. This is a way to include people, and you can even add additional people to this functionality as well. So when Eddie joins in, I'm going to be able to see his picture up here or his initials as well. So we're able to, just like it was on a desktop app, format this document, and you can see that there he is. So he is going to go ahead and put in information there. From the shows that he is editing it right now, if I were to go ahead and add in a new slide, it will give me design ideas through the functionality of the AI that's built in. And so we're able to really work together collaboratively in this document. And what's super nice about it is I don't have to save it because it's saved in the cloud. It's already done for me, so I'm not going to lose my documents in the future. Okay, thanks, Eddie. And you can actually change and do everything you would normally. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of there and come back to the chat. Now, if we were in a long chat conversation and I needed to go find this document, I don't need to go scroll for it. What's super nice is it's saved in the files section. So anything we do via files would go right here, which is a beautiful thing. And then you're going to be able to see who edited it last. Okay. So I wanted to show you this. The emojis are always fun. You can actually disable this if you are a serious company. Some engineering companies just want to be out of business, so that's okay too. So you do have the ability to control that atmosphere. And you can even do memes. And so you can change these. You don't have to do a meme generator online anymore. It's all there for you. The next button is called Microsoft Stream, and Microsoft Stream is one of my favorites. I love it when I think about working on a manufacturing floor, for example, and a piece of equipment goes down and I need to show exactly what it went down, where it went down, and actually how we can help that, right? And so with the stream, I can actually take a video on my phone, and I'm trying to bring it up here. Okay, so you can see I'm on my phone. And if I were to go into the chat functionality here, let's see. I'm going to be able to take a video on Microsoft Teams, and I'm going to show it to you actually in the other chat because it's not popping up, but it does work. But I can take a video and show where that piece of equipment went down and bring it right back up into Teams. If I was a doctor and I had a nurse out in the field and I needed patient information, because it's HIPAA compliant, secure, and productive at the same time, I can take a picture of or a video of that patient, put it to Microsoft Teams, and get it to that doctor immediately. So I'm going to go ahead and show that to you in the chat part too. You can also do praise in this functionality where you can praise people that are in your meetings. You can add in project management tools, add in the weather, YouTube, and a bunch of other functionality, including tasks. Tasks is new to Teams. So when you're working on a project, you're able to create the task and assign it out. It'll go to their email, be a part of the task functionality, and you're going to know who's assigned to what. Okay. And then here's where you can add in those additional apps. The apps are cool. When you click apps, there's actually 440 plus certified apps with Microsoft that are built into the tool to make things more productive for you. Okay. And yes, the recording will be available to you after the call. Okay. We're going to go back to the chat that's here. I was using Planner to get task functionality. Is it the same? Great question, Shane. So what is so cool, and I will show you Planner, is Microsoft Team Tasks and Planner are now connected. So you can put them and integrate them into one another. So yep, I use Planner as well. So this is the functionality. When you're in a meeting, you can do whiteboard as well. So if you're in education, for example, this is a great way to teach a math lesson. You can actually open up the whiteboard on your desktop as an app if you wanted to. You get a little bit more functionality that way, and you can add people into there. So you can see, you can type it. I added in a grid, and I'm able to do multiple things within whiteboard. So it helps with that integration. Okay. Perfect. Over here is where your meeting people are at, so you can still view and add participants from that perspective. And then you can actually go right to the calendar requests as well to see who's invited. And you can see the calendar request here has everything that you needed, even from a dial-in perspective. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and do just a quick chat to show a couple things that I didn't show you. So up here at the top is where you create a chat. And if you're federated with a company, you should be able to chat back and forth, no problem. But I'm going to go ahead and add Eddie to this chat because he's on the call. And let's see, I'm going to add one more person internally to the call, Aaron. Okay. So when I do a chat, and you can see we've kind of done some demos before, I can actually name this chat. And you're probably thinking, well, why would you name a chat? Well, you can name it so you can find it easier later, or if it's a short-term project. Okay. And then down here, I can type that. Yep, there's a question. All right, so you can see here, we're in our chat here. We've already gone through a lot of this functionality, but I wanted to show you how Microsoft Stream works. I'm gonna go back to my phone, and you can see here that I'm on my phone. And when I travel, I'm on my phone 95% of the time. I hate opening up my computer. I don't want to connect to company or to public Wi-Fi, and I'm more safe and secure on this device. And so on the bottom, you can see there's the camera button. And when I'm in the camera button, you have different items there, such as photo, document, whiteboard, business card, and video. The whiteboard functionality, as a tip, is super awesome. If you're at a conference and you're in the back of the room and you take a photo, it actually makes it clear as day. The document part of it will scan it nicer than a regular document if you don't have a scanner at home when you're working remote. A lot of people love that, especially when they had to submit their kids' school assignments. Totally guilty, by the way. So here you can see I'm inside my office and doing a stream. When I upload it, it's going to upload directly to the chat so that we're able to communicate back and forth quickly. Okay, and then you'll be able to see that video that's there. Okay, so that's really nice. My camera, I think my kids slobbered on the camera part of it, but it's usually pretty clear within that part of it as well. So there is a question. When do I see that you are on your phone? You actually don't. So that's you can be between devices. If I, like this morning, Eddie, you probably have no idea, but you were sending me a Teams message at 8:15. I wasn't at work yet. I was still getting ready. And so I was going back and forth with him on my phone, and he probably had no idea. Okay. Secrets. But from that perspective, but Shane, that's a great question. Okay. So you can see that's there. Again, those files will save directly up here, and you can even add in applications to help with those short-term projects. And you can see there's a bunch that are up there already. Okay. Back to this demo, we've gone through everything here but the calendar. So when you're in a chat, let's say you're working on a long-term project, you can actually click on this calendar button and create a request. I know Eddie and Aaron are busy because they're a different color, but I can double check that by actually checking the scheduling assistance that's here. I can add in additional people as well. And then I can also make it reoccurring through here, which is the same as this calendar button that's here. Or even add a channel. So if I wanted to, I'm going to show you now before we get into it, I could actually create this meeting directly in a channel. What this is going to do is your team meetings can be in one location week after week. Your recordings will stay there, your meeting notes will stay there, and all of the documents that you work on together as well. So that's kind of the cool thing, is everything is integrated. Okay. I'm going to discard. Back up here, you can add in additional people. You can take people away. I'm going to go ahead and take Aaron out of the conversation. Or if I wanted to add in additional people, I could do that here as well and actually show them the whole chat history. This is great if you're working on a project. And then just released from Microsoft is the ability for pop-out windows. So if we're doing a chat, or I'm in a meeting and I have to do multiple chats at the same time, I can pop out that conversation so I don't have to go back and forth between chat, and I can focus on my meeting and my business can still happen. And I can move this to any screen so it actually can get out of the platform, which is great. Okay, questions on chat? All right, so this is the Teams part of it. You can see here, I have a bunch of teams that I'm a part of. Okay, this is the team. So the name is the name of the team. Inside, you have what are called channels. These channels can be part of the team or the function. So the other day I helped a company set up a networking demo because they do a networking business where they want to do like speed dating per se, but they wanted to do it virtually. And so we set this up, talked about how we could add members. So you can add members to the team. Any member that you add to the team is automatically a part of the general tab. General tab does not go away. General tab is used for general things like company announcements or what is the plan for the day, things along those lines. Then when you break it down into your groups, that you can see here, you can actually invite specific people to these groups or these channels. You see this one has a lock on it. Only people that have been invited to that channel will see that channel. Nobody else can join it. Okay. Now you can see here in my Teams resources, this is how I use it. So this is my own Teams channel that I use for all of my documents. And all of my documents are stored into either OneDrive or SharePoint. So you can see the files that are stored here. I go out through the files portion of it. I can open it in SharePoint. And you can see when I open it in SharePoint that team name is exactly the team name that is within Microsoft Teams. So I can come back and forth between both if I wanted to do automation or Power Apps within Microsoft Teams as well. Okay. I don't use my wiki here, but this is a great place for team notes or company information. I have my Microsoft Teams resources OneNote blog post that is here. This is great. So if you use OneNote on your desktop and you put things in there, it will actually automatically update to here as well. I also have company websites in here, so I can log into my marketplace and do ordering. So if you work with different vendors, it can be all in one location. My CRM is connected. I even have a travel calendar. And because I am on the road, I need to bing things all the time. I need to search for things, so I put that there as well. So all I have to do is go to Microsoft Teams. Some other cool things that I include, like I'm just doing a Microsoft form. Super easy to do. If you have a marketing department that does events, you can actually use this form to create events. And you can see I already have some responses on mine, which is great. Okay, questions so far on those? We have some stuff in the chat going on. Creating a team across the organization. What is the thought on who can create a team in teams of global administration? You know, that really comes down to your company preference. And I always recommend doing a teamwork assessment with your partner, like NetWize, to truly understand how your structure lays out. Microsoft is a firm believer to let everybody just create a team and go for it. But we see a lot of times that creates team sprawl. And so if you are like a government organization or you have a lot of regulatory and compliance, you may want to lock that down and actually have the person who's requesting the team to get approval first. So give a justification for the team. And so it really comes down to that structure. That's a great question. And you can control who can create a team actually through your admin portal, PowerShell, and Active Directory. Okay, did that answer your question, Shane? Okay, so and then there are different administrator roles too that I would recommend having, and we can dive in deeper to that in another conversation. So these are all the teams that are available. Super quick and easy to create a team. You can join or create it at the bottom. Create the team here, pops up super fast. Again, that SharePoint site is created. You can build it from scratch, and you can do it as private or public. You can also do it as confidential as long as that PowerShell script is in play before you create the team. So we're just going to go ahead and name this demo account. It's going to create it there for you. And I know we're running short on time, so I'm just going to do it pretty quick. And there's your teams created. You're going to add people there. I'm going to go ahead and just skip that for now. And now your team is created. Down below, to add a channel, all you do is go ahead and click Add Channel. And then you can change your privacy from standard, where anyone can access it, to private. So pretty simple to be able to do. Okay. And then that information is there as well. So, all right, was there another question up there? Is the question mark I'm struggling with? Shane, do you want to come off of mute and ask the question? Maybe I'm not understanding.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was answering the question you had.
Okay, perfect. So, okay. All right, so those are the teams part of it. Again, you can integrate apps, workflows, connectors, and really make processes flow through there as well. Here on the side, we've added in our Yammer community as a pin. Like, I can't take it away. So Yammer is really like the social networking within Microsoft 365. You've looked at the calendar, but in your calendar, you're actually able to do a new meeting or meet now. You know what meeting you're in because it's highlighted in purple. When you create it in Teams, you don't need to insert the link because it's already there for you. But it also integrates directly over to Outlook as well. Everything is across the board. Here's the call section. So if you don't have telephony as part of your Teams plan, you can actually move your phone system over. So you can direct route it through your current provider or move the numbers you have directly into Teams. So it's all under one platform. So you can see I have my speed dial and my other contacts here. I have contacts that I've set up that I call a lot. I have my history. This is great if you have billable hours that you're able to see how long those conversations have lasted. Or if you've missed a phone call, you just double click on it and it will call that person back. You can also set up your voicemail. So when you have voicemail, it will show up here. It'll transcribe it for you, and it will also send it to your Outlook. Okay. And here I can use this phone number. I dial in and out of Teams all day long through this platform. When I'm on the road, I don't use my cell phone. Nobody, and a lot of people don't know my cell phone number. I will make my phone calls directly out of the Microsoft Teams app as well. Okay. Files. This is great. Files, Ingram is built in a OneDrive environment. I recommend if you are not in a OneDrive environment and you are saving locally to change your thought process there, because when you get the blue screen of death, you lose everything. Because we're on the OneDrive environment, I will never lose anything and everything is automatically saved. Here are documents within the teams that I work in. They will show up as having been changed, even ones that I haven't worked on. And this one always takes a little bit to populate because a lot is going on through my different teams and channels. Things I've downloaded will show up here as well. And you can see I downloaded the meeting attendee list from today. You can do that as well. That's also a new feature. So you're able to see when people have joined your calls. And then my personal OneDrive storage is here as well. Okay. I have my OneNote pin, Dynamics, and then there's other functionality as well that you can add in. I'm going to go ahead and go back to questions. All right. Are there any questions? Because that concludes the demo, and I'm so sorry for my personal technical difficulties, but my computer decided not to like me today. So we'd love to answer questions in the last 2 minutes that we have. Yes. Do you have a question, Cody? Was your hand up, or physical hand, or you guys want to use the hand in the bar here?
No, I was just the only solo person on the screen, so I was giving everybody a wave.
Oh, there you go. Yes. If you want to have additional conversation about Teams, I would love to dive into it with NetWize and yourself. Right now, if you're in education, we're setting up humongous hybrid environments for next year because of COVID, and really thinking differently about how you work remote. Happy to dive into that further with you. Right? Is the Shifts app included in the basic Teams package? It's part of your first line worker SKU, and we can talk more about that with you offline. Great question. All right. I'm going to hand it back over to Todd for the drawing.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining, and thank you, Abby, for the great presentation. Hopefully you're starting to, if you don't already know, see the power of Teams. Every time I'm on a presentation or call with Abby, I always learn something new, and I learned more than one thing again today. So thank you. So we're going to continue to have this series. The winner for today's $50 Amazon gift card is BJ Horrocks. So congratulations, BJ. We'll get that out to you via email. And then look out in this next coming week for an invite for the next meeting that will be held on June 24th at the same time. Again, it's the last Wednesday of the month, and the topic will be how to have an effective meeting using Teams. So Abby will be presenting that as well. So if in the meantime you have any questions on Teams, looking to get anything set up that we've talked about, reach out to your NetWize account executive. And yeah, thank you, everybody.